pressed the go live, and then it was like a typical thing. Is it two? Brilliant, thank you. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to a particularly wet Newhaven Fort. We have pushed the boundaries, if we can say such a thing, to try and get as much technology into a particularly sodden fort tonight. The heavens are open, electricity has been cut, but we are doing our best to try and get connected as quickly as possible. So, for those who have never been to Newhaven Fort, we are based right on the top of a cliff overlooking Newhaven. This is the fort which I will run in the background if you can cope with the fact that there is rain dropping. We're getting signal from the cafe, which has been turned temporarily into the office, as this place is due to be redeveloped over the next past year. So in fact, tomorrow, the contractors move in and they will be pulling this place apart. So various areas anyone's visited before will have already been taken apart. So if anyone's seen the home front, the World War II room, I've just been up there. It's completely a shell. All the furniture is out. And so the rooms we are going to be looking at tonight will be the office, because that's their old office. And there is a typewriter in there, which through several investigations have been situations where those keys of the typewriter have pressed themselves. So we will have a camera and we will have sound on that to see whether we can capture anything. We have opened up some of the casemates and we will be looking inside them. They are particularly dark at the moment. We have, for example, opened up one of the tunnels, which is inaccessible. It's the back of the activity centre. We've opened up that tunnel so we can have a look. It's particularly misty at the moment. That's how damp it is at the moment. So we're hoping that will dry out. We'll have a much better shot of that. But to show you where we are atop Newhaven Fort. So you can see from this picture I'm showing now how far up we are. So when we go down in the Caponiers and the steps, which unfortunately won't be doing tonight, there's no way we'll get signal down there. We are actually almost not even reaching effectively ground level, or seawater level, we should say rather. And then the aerial shot will show where I am. So the cafe is the tin-hutted thing you can see. Parade ground is the area I was showing everyone a moment ago. The Caponier steps I was talking about are those. They go all the way down and eventually they meander right down almost to sea level. And then there is another area called the Eastern, creepy and it's green, emergency light. But give it an indicator of what the parade ground on a less wet day looks like. It looks like this. That is heading up to the Grand Magazine and the World War II home front area. So indicator where I am now. If I turn my back to that area, you'll basically see. But what I'm going to do, I am getting soaked out here. So I'm going to go back into the office and try and talk to Lindsay, who I hope is in the office with the typewriter. Lindsay, are you there?
I am. You can't see me, but hopefully you can hear me.
Yes. So do you want to explain what is happening to the fort over the next year?
Yeah, so we've got the contractors starting on site tomorrow. We have got a funding pot of £7.5 million. So there's going to be lots going on over the next year. We're going to open up a lot of new areas. There's going to be exhibition changes. There's going to be a tremendous new play park. There's going to be all sorts of things. I don't want to give too much away, but if you follow us on Facebook, you can watch as the year progresses. And as I say, we open in Feb 25. So keep up to date with everything that's going on through our Facebook page.
Thank you. In fact, we're having a flood of comments come through at the moment. Sharon, hello, saying what an amazing place it is. She's in fact saying, will you be returning for ghost hunts there once the work has been done? So, Lindsay, you can answer that question.
Yes, there's going to be lots of different ghostly activities going on here when we reopen. We're going to have a whole new events program, so look out for that.
Brilliant. So, hello to Gail and to Fran and Jan and Graham. Do keep comments. Keep having a look when we start posting up the areas we're going to investigate. So, Lindsay, can you explain about the typewriter? What's going on? Why are we looking at a typewriter?
So we've had a bit of a situation with this typewriter. It kind of started maybe about a year ago. And I was actually the first person to hear it. I was supervising a ghost hunt, and I walked back into the office, and it was just on the desk, and I could hear the keys going. So you could hear the keys moving. As soon as I looked over, couldn't see anything moving, nothing like that. It was just you could hear the sound. Now, every single ghost hunt I've been on since then, other than the two last ghost hunts, it's always happened. I've always heard it, and other members of staff have heard it as well. So it's been pretty quiet the last couple of weeks, but I'm hoping something may happen today.
Well, that is certainly the hope. So do you want to explain who we have on the ground in the areas tonight?
Yes, so you have me. I'm going to spin the camera round quickly. Here we go. So we have Frankie, who is our collections custodian. We have Jason, who is our property custodian. And we have Heather, who is our learning officer. So all of us tonight. And we have got one of our volunteers, Jay, on site as well, but I'm not quite sure where he is at the moment. He's disappeared.
Hopefully he is safe and well. Hello, Lynn. We've had a comment from, let me find it again. Martin saying, hi, Lindsay, good luck tonight. We are watching and listening from next door at the Lower East Battery.
They're our neighbours, our lovely neighbours.
So if you hear any screaming, it'll be Lindsay.
It probably will.
So, Lindsay, who do you want to send to what room, and we'll watch them in operation?
I'm probably going to send Frankie and Heather together to the activity centre, because that is Heather's classroom. So I'm hoping she may get something in there.
Right. Good luck, Heather. We'll lock into the activity centre, and then we'll see how you get on. And so who's going to go to the sea and air casemates?
Myself and Jason will go up to Sussex Sea and Air, yeah, and we'll leave this camera on the typewriter.
Fantastic. Still not quite sure why they're quite so misty. I went and cleaned all those lenses, and it's almost like there's an internal mist going on. It's very bizarre.
I've got a K2 meter in front of it as well. So if you see the lights go, comment on the chat, please. That'd be lovely. Brilliant.
So if you guys want to head off to the activity centre and sea and air casemate, if you've ever visited, you'll understand what all those casemate names mean. Basically, the casemates are the archways, I suppose, what you could call them, and they then run the whole length of this internal space. Let me get a picture. So that picture I'm showing you, those arches, each one of those is a casemate, and they have been labelled different things. Now, interestingly, they have a different reflection of what they've been used for in the past. So right down the bottom, for example, it was like the Victorian kitchen area, and halfway up, sort of the I think the theatre area, or if not the office, was used as bedrooms. So they were different. They used differently by the different people who were staying inside the fort. So again, we would expect different activity to be in each area. So I tried out, yeah. Let me get me back. Right, hello. So I'm now back in the dryer because I was getting absolutely soaked outside. In fact, I hadn't realised how much water was on my keyboard. So what we're going to do is, while the others get set up in their rooms, I will deactivate the cameras and the sound, and then we will, someone in the activity centre, we will just sit and listen to that typewriter on the off chance that anything happens. So for those who have just joined us, you're probably thinking, why are we looking at a typewriter? What's this about? The reason being is that several times, mainly when paranormal investigations were occurring, but not always, just as they were entering the office, they heard the typewriter keys go down. In fact, have seen the keys go down. So we thought we would just set up a typewriter and see whether it could be caught on camera while you're all watching. These things go like this. Of course, it's not going to happen, but you never know. In the meantime, we have sent the teams off to the various parts of the casemates. And one of the casemates, we've opened up the back door. And that area is the very creepy tunnel. So let's see. Frankie, is that you?
Hi, can you see us?
Yes.
Just.
It's very foggy.
It's not
So-
foggy.
Yeah, I don't know why the camera's doing this. It's almost like it's got really cold down.
Very damp. Definitely very damp.
So I will shut up, and if you want to tell us what you're feeling or experiencing so far.
So far, it's pretty quiet, isn't it?
It is.
We can hear a lot of water dripping, things like that. what you can't see behind the camera is the tunnel continues for another 30 meters, and that's pitch black. That leads to the northwest counterscarp, which is a little bit creepy down there. Whereas this side of the tunnel, we've got a few lights so you can see us, and the camera can see us. How do you feel, Heather?
It's very interesting for me because I have not experienced anything thus far. So I'm fascinated to see if I do have an experience, because I do find it interesting, and obviously I know that you've had a lot of experience, so I'm just really interested to see what happens this evening.
Yeah, I've had a couple of experiences involving this tunnel as well. Mostly it's audio back here. I've stayed the night 3 or 4 times. We actually sleep in the activity centre, which is just behind us. When we stay the night, the main thing you hear in this hallway is footsteps. You hear them come down, up, and down, past the door. It's really quite off-putting. And we hear voices sometimes from back here. There's quite a well-known ghost story amongst the team about a woman who sadly passed away involving the fort in the 1870s.
I am going to race over there and very quickly see if I can improve that lighting and the sound, because it's a bit quiet at the moment. So go back to looking at the typewriter, and I will be back shortly. And I'm back. Anything happened? Let me check the comments. In the meantime, I have adjusted. Hello.
Hello?
That's better. Much better view. Can you hear us okay?
Sort of.
You can sort of hear us. So we can hear you nice and clearly. So do you want to tell me everything you get in that part of the tunnel and that part of the fort?
So it's pretty quiet here, don't you think?
It is at the moment.
We can hear lots of dripping water. It's quite a peaceful silence back here.
It is. It is. I'm very curious to find out if anything is going to happen, and I'm sure everybody watching feels the same, but it's my first experience. But Frank is the expert, so I'm really pleased to be with him because he knows what he's doing.
I don't know about expert, but I enjoy it. It's the unknown, isn't it?
It is. It is.
And I've had so many experiences here that it's hard to sort of ignore. You know what I mean?
It was very interesting listening to you telling me about the time then when you stayed overnight and what happened then.
Yeah, a lot of the activity that night was in this back tunnel. We stayed in the activity centre, which is behind us for the night, and we could hear all sorts of noises, both sides. So the parade square and this back tunnel. Back here, we could hear footsteps coming up and down the corridor all night. It was really quite off-putting. Since multiple members of the team have heard a similar voice back here and back up the top there. There's a story about a woman who sadly died in Newhaven Fort in the 1870s. We've heard what can only be described as a female crying, which is really quite strange.
Absolutely. I don't know whether, because I have not very often been here in the evening time, as it were, whether that's why my experience is, but I've never felt threatened. Does that make sense? I've never felt as if there's anything evil. Yeah. So I don't know.
There's some rooms I feel less welcome
Right.
than other rooms. World War I is probably my least favourite. Some really bad feelings. I've had some quite, I wouldn't say definitely not dangerous experiences, but there's certainly the experiences I've come away from and gone, wow, that scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Sorry, I was just going to say, do you think that's anything to do with what we have in there that might have carried forward, or do you think it's the building? I know that's a
honestly,
difficult question.
it's very hard to say.
Yeah.
That part of the building has had so many different kinds of people living there. When the fort was first built, they were the officers' quarters.
Yes.
So very prim and proper people stayed there. However, by the 1920s, that was turned into a games room, a library, and a shop.
Yes.
The top case then being the sergeant's quarters. So it goes from being very upper class and proper to a little bit more laid back and easy going.
Yes.
Quite like always just.
I was just going to say, was that just tricky?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
So you guys can see the lighted corridor behind us, but I'm going to pick up the camera and show you what we can see looking up the tunnel. And hopefully you'll see that it's just blackness. That's all we can see.
And Frankie, could you just point the camera into the back of the activity centre? So people may have seen these back doors to the casemates and wonder where they went to, and this is where they went to.
There was quite a strange noise just from up the tunnel, but I'm going to show you. Hopefully everyone can see the activity centre. So if you've ever gone on a school trip, it's in this room here that we do all the teaching.
That's fantastic. Right, I'll let you get your camera set up again and you can keep your vigil in that space, because I'm now going to go to the sea and air casemate and see what is going on in that space. Hello, sea and air, can you hear me? Dark in there.
We can hear you, yes.
Now, the wonders of not only have we got huge humidity and water problems going on, we've got acoustics. So what's going on inside that ventilation tunnel is there is a very large extractor fan at the end of it, which is producing a lot of white noise, which of course is then the microphones are trying to suppress and get rid of, and that's why the voice keeps going in and out. In here, of course, we've got a very echoey casemate because it's now been cleared out, hasn't it?
It has. So if Jay pans camera around, this used to be the Sussex Sea and Air exhibition. It is now empty, ready for a new exhibition to be installed.
So just to warn you, as soon as the camera pans round, we don't hear you very well. And it's very dark. So, Lindsay, what's going on in there at the moment? Do you think, as rooms have now been, what's the very sensitive word I can use? Disturbed, I suppose, is a good way of putting it, or completely gutted. Do you think it might change activity in the space?
Possibly. We have had a couple of things happen over the last few weeks, so I think it's been a bit more active while it's been going on. So this is the first time we've kind of obviously done a ghost hunt where things have been completely stripped out. So who knows? I mean, we've just been trying the dowsing rods in here, and Jason did get a couple of little things on the dowsing rods. So yeah, we may get something in here tonight, but it's a complete strip out of this casemate. So as you can see, there's absolutely nothing. So people that come here regularly will remember the Sussex Sea and Air exhibition had cases both sides and a walkway down the middle. So it's obviously taken a lot of work to remove all that, ready for the new exhibitions to come in this year.
Is there any chance we could shine a light around the room, because it's very dark? We can barely see you.
We're going to get the big light.
Oh yes, there you go.
Is that better?
That's loads better.
There we go.
So I'm guessing for you that's now stupidly bright.
Yeah, I can't see much because I'm so blinded. No, it's not too bad. It's fine.
Did you want to have a go at some calling out, or shall we go back to the typewriter or Frankie in the tunnel?
We can give it a go. We've got K2 on the floor in front of us. Jason has moved one of the cannonballs we've got in the room as well down onto the floor to see if that makes anything happen. So we're going to try a few questions with the dowsing rods. Jason's not done this before, have you?
No.
Well, just a minute ago. Yeah. So we did do it. We asked 3 questions just a second ago before you joined us. We asked, if anyone's there, can you cross the rods? They crossed Jason's rods, but not mine. So then I said, if you're a woman, can you cross the rods? To which none of them moved. So then we asked if it was a man, and Jason's rods crossed again. So give it a go again. We'll ask the same questions, and we'll go from there and see what happens. Okay, just let them settle for a second. Okay, so if there are any spirits here at the fort with us tonight, can you please cross our rods over? Both sets if you can, or if you could just manage one, just do one. If there's a man in this room with us, can you please cross the rods over for us? can feel a pull on them. I said this earlier, there is a slight pull on them, so something is trying to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, seeing as they're responding to you, ask a question, whatever you like.
Do you like this room?
So reset.
Do you like this room? Cross if you do. Oh yeah. Do you like the work we're doing here at the moment, the renovation work? Cross if you do. Do you like the work we're doing at the moment? So that's a yes.
Come back on, see if it moves mine as well. Okay, you need to ask the questions though, to respond to you.
Okay. You think that's a good question?
Maybe. Are they happy with strict room now?
Did they used to live here?
You can ask that.
Did you used to live at the fort? Cross the rods for yes.
Mine's going. There we go.
That's a yes.
That's a yes. Okay.
Were you a soldier at the fort?
Yep. And you get to give the instruction. Cross the rods for yes.
If you were a soldier at the fort, can you cross the rods again?
Maybe it's a relative of a soldier, because it's yeah. Maybe it's about the era. We'll do this as our last question, Jonathan, if you then want to swap back over.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to do this and then I'm going to check in on Frankie because he's moved his camera and moving his lights around.
You can always rely on Frankie to misbehave.
Yeah. Were you here in the 1800s? If you were, cross over.
Sounds like one of those.
Yeah.
That's right. So we have a soldier from the 1800s in here with us this evening, by the looks of it. No activity on the K2 as yet, but obviously they like the dowsing rods.
Brilliant, thank you. What I'll do, I'm going to now go to Frankie and see what's been going on because you moved your camera and then you started, I can see the torch moving around. So what happened?
We can just hear something weird up the dark part of the tunnel. So me and Heather have been sitting here and just asking some very generic questions. My torch is flickering. And we can hear the dripping water, but then every now and then there's a completely different noise. It's always metallic, isn't it?
It is.
So I was just going to go and have a wander up to the top and see what I can see. And maybe Heather can stay down here and relay if I hear anything to you guys, because I don't think you're going to hear me if I walk all the way down there and shout anything back. But
Yeah.
I can pass anything on to you. I think as well, you might be able to see my torch down the tunnel a little bit.
Is the camera central down the tunnel?
Good question.
But maybe I'm seeing reflect off the wall.
I think you can see the reflection there.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I've got a head torch as well, and then you can see.
We're gonna need a lot more light.
See how that is. My torch is kind of a bit funny. I've got one. Give you a sense as well how long the corridor is.
I can. Okay. So Frankie's saying there's nothing up there that seems to be making the noise we feel we've heard, but it was a slightly metallic noise, which was a little strange. We did ask if there was anybody or anything there, if they would just make some sort of gesture to let us know. Unfortunately, we haven't had a response, which is why Frankie thought we would go up and see.
This course may be the very last time we ever see Frankie.
Say again, Frankie?
Just right in my head, some of the doors are open. The home front has been reading about it.
I don't know if you've heard that, but he was just saying he's put his head into some of the doors into the casemates, and in the home front, it had a very strange feeling as he was looking in.
Now that's curious because now obviously how that connects to the home front is if you've ever been to the underground what's it called shelter, and the effect they do with the bombing. Effectively, the back of that leads into this tunnel. So that long tunnel runs the whole length of all the casemates from the entrance to the fort right up to the World War II home front section.
Yeah, so the further down you go, the weirder the feeling is. And I've always found that corner of the tunnel particularly unappealing. There's nothing obvious down there which could make a noise, but I haven't heard it since we got up and walked down there.
No.
It was a small metallic. No.
Very hard to describe, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it could have been anything. It could have been water just hitting a particular spot, but the further up I go, the less appealing the feeling is down there. And I think if you do any kind of ghost hunt, how you feel about the place is a big indicator to what's going on. Hopefully you guys can see just how long that tunnel actually is.
So Frankie, Vicky's just said, when we were in the World War II bomb shelter bit last week, we had sounds behind the door you just walked to.
Okay, yeah. So all of the cases and the air raid experience back onto this corridor we're in. You might not be able to see it on the stream. It's quite hard to see. But there's a boarded up doorway at the very bottom, which leads to the northwest counterscarp. I've never ever found that particular place creepy. In fact, I find northwest counterscarp mesmerising. That's the place of all the art of the RAF boats. But that back corner of the home front has always felt a wee bit creepy to me. And I've heard an awful lot of noises, as has the rest of the team. Myself and Lindsay in particular, and Jason. All of us have heard there's quite a common ghost story. I mentioned it earlier about the woman, and it's from this corridor we can sometimes hear a crying, for a better word. So we've actually heard that.
So Frankie, we were hoping to get the cameras up to the World War II home front, but the space has been ripped apart, so there's no power and there's no Wi-Fi up there. So do you want to tell, because we were hoping to get up there because you said it's one of the best experiences you've had.
Do you want me to describe what happened?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, myself and a couple of friends were on we weren't technically doing a ghost hunt. I do live in history, so we were up playing soldier for the weekend. And I was showing them around the fort. One of them had never been to here before. And we decided to give it a little go, have a bit of fun, do some cool and repeat. So we were standing in what used to be Mars Kitchen, which is one of the old exhibits up in the home front. And we as a team started asking questions, not one for yes and two for no. And lo and behold, we were getting knocking back. And at first we sort of played it off as, oh, don't be so silly, this can't be real. But the answers we were getting were consistent and coherent. And it was, I can't, it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. We asked a series of questions and we were getting coherent answers, like, did you serve in the army? 1 for yes, 2 for no. This was a yes. And we asked a series of questions to narrow it down, and whatever we were speaking to, if we were actually speaking to something, seemed to answer, but it was an ex-Royal Engineer, which was quite something quite amazing. And it culminated with, so one of the people on this tour was a girl, and we sort of jokingly asked, would you like to dance with her? And the spirit said yes. So we goaded Mads into having a little dance, while myself and Jade and the other boy decided to whistle a 1940s tune, and we settled on a Glenn Miller song, and we whistled a part of it while Mads danced. It was only about a minute long, and we all sort of stopped, and there was, I can only describe as a crescendo of noise coming from the bombed out house. It sounded like clapping and whistling, but multiple different people whistling, if you get what I mean. It wasn't just one whistle. But what made it even weirder was it was almost like someone tuning in and out of radio. It was cutting in and out and in and out. And it would be, you'd hear all this noise for a second, and then it would stop for a quarter of a second, then come back on for another half second before turning back off. And we kind of got a little bit overwhelmed after that, so decided to leave, which is a shame. But you know, even very soldiers like us get a little bit scared of the paranormal sometimes.
Thank you for that. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go and have a look at the sea and air case to see if anything's happening with them. How you get on in there?
Hello.
Hi.
We've just had a little bit of a weird experience. So whichever spirit this is in here with us tonight, seems to like Jason. And we've just been trying to contact using K2. And what did you say?
Well, basically, I said, can you change the lights if you're in the room? And one of the lights went off on the floor. Which is a bit scary. It didn't affect the K2 at all, but the other lights in the room changed slightly, which is very strange.
So we're getting something. So we're just about to try again. One, I'm going to have the dowsing rods. Jason's going to keep the K2, and we're going to see if we get responses on either. But Jason's going to do the talking because this spirit seems to like him.
So Boito is a man, and he was here in the 1800s.
So when you ask questions, ask it to affect the box and the dowsing rod. What's the dowsing rod?
Okay. Did you die in here? If you did, cross the rods and change the light to red if you can.
That's a no.
That's a no. Did you live in this area? Were you from Sussex? If it's yes, cross the rods and turn the light red. No. Strange, I think he might have gone. Are you still with us? Cross the rods and turn the light red. The light's just changed. Can you do that again? On the K2, the lights are starting to change.
There you go.
Actually, the room's changing a bit as well. I can feel the room changing.
You actually?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely affecting Jason.
Can you change the lights again for me? Did you prefer this room when it had a lot of stuff in it? Flick the lights if you can. Oh, a little bit. Whereabouts did you live when you were on the fort? Did you go on the parade ground? Can you flick the lights for yes? Did you like to live by the sea? Can you flick the lights for yes?
I think he's gone.
Are you still here? It's definitely something.
So we might go back down to the office if it's going a bit quiet in here, Jonathan.
Brilliant. Yes, do that. There were people asking what was that, because I think they heard the noise, and then Vicky was asking, is that the same spirit?
I heard a dragon, actually. I heard a dragon noise in here. Very slight, because I said, what was that, didn't I?
Yeah. I was concentrating on this more, so I missed that, but the light's definitely changed on here a couple of times.
Yeah, it went to yellow, didn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, by all means, either leave that as a locked off camera or see if you can take it down to the office, and then we'll have the camera still on the typewriter as well.
We'll give it a go. We'll try taking it with us.
All right. I will go back to Frankie in the tunnel, which is still looking ominous.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, we decided to Heather to walk to the end. So I think it's best we take your Heather at once. What do you think?
It's quite strange because there are two doors up there that are open and leading to what was exhibits, in particular the bombed out house in the home front, which was an amazing exhibit. But I just said to Frankie, there was a very strange feeling. I felt like I was intruding, and it's just a little bit weird. Just, you know, I mean, obviously we're expecting that we hope we'll find and feel things, but yeah, I just felt like I wasn't wanted. So I don't know, interesting. Wonder whether to go up later and see again. And you had a strange sensation as well, didn't you?
Well, shortly after Heather started walking up the corridor, there was quite a loud noise in the activity centre itself, but you know, it could have been anything. So
yeah.
it's hard to say. I think with regards to the home front in particular, we've done so much in there in terms of dismantling it. No?
Missed that.
That sort of metallic bang as well. Anyway,
So what did you hear?
Well, we've heard this sort of metallic bang 2 or 3 times now, and as I was speaking, I heard it. It's a vampire, basically. It's different to water dripping. It sounds like someone hitting something metal.
Gail was asking, could it be the Anderson shelter? But it's not an Anderson shelter, is it? In the parade ground.
So in the parade ground, it is an Anderson shelter.
Oh, it
We've
is.
also got the Romney hut, which is the big metallic hut. I can see the Romney hut from where I'm sitting back. Hopefully, if I show you through, hopefully you can see it through the doorway.
But surely, if something hit either the Romney, which would have made quite an echo, or the smaller Anderson shelter, you would have had that sense that the sound was coming from outside. Are you sensing it's coming from inside the tunnel?
The metallic sound is definitely coming from up the tunnel.
What is this tunnel? I keep calling it the tunnel. What is it actually technically called?
Excellent question. I normally just call it the rear passage, or it's technically a quick access tunnel for soldiers. So if the fort was raided, they could run behind the casements to the areas that they were going to defend. So there's a spiral staircase, for example, going up to the top of the cliff, one end of the tunnel, and the other end of the tunnel, the end of my flashlights pointing down, leads to the northwest counterscarp.
Well, either of those titles is a goldmine for Carry On Double Entendre. Whether I call it quick access tunnel for the soldiers or the rear tunnel, I can't say. Can you go up my rear tunnel? Vicky has suggested, could you ask Heather to go up and ask if the spirits affect her in some way?
Could you say that last bit again? Could the spirits?
So Vicky has suggested, could you ask Heather to go up into that part of the tunnel and ask if the spirits to affect her in some way? See if she has anything happen.
Go up there and ask them to touch you or blow on your hair.
The home front.
Yeah, go right up to there, and then I can liaise with the audience if anything does happen. Because that's a nice bright light.
So everyone who's listening, if you would like to make some suggestions of how Heather could be affected in this easy access tunnel, please put your comments in the comment section and we will ask them out to see whether Heather can be affected by them.
Do you want to stop about there, Heather? I'm going to stop about there, just because it's becoming a little bit too small to see otherwise. So Heather's just asked for them to, if anyone wants to communicate with her. She's just asked, are the spirits unhappy that we're here? She said, if they're happy we're here, that would also be lovely.
Frankie, I don't know if you can see the screen, but Diane has asked, can you blow in Heather's left ear?
Heather, can you ask the spirit if it could blow into your left ear, maybe? Blow into your left ear. She's going to give it a go. So she's just asked. Nothing? Nothing.
So it's a little bit dark, and we can't hear Heather, but we can certainly hear you when you relay it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to the guys in the office, and hopefully Heather gets back, and see how they're getting on, because they look like they might be somewhere interesting. Hello, guys in the office.
Hello. We've we've come down into the half cleared out archive. Because this is quite spooky down here.
Oh, this
So
is
we're
brilliant. So
underneath.
this is an area that public will probably never seen.
They may do. We have got some plans to potentially do some archive tours in the future, but at the moment it's half emptied, ready to be sorted out. So, but we thought we'd come down and put some K2s on top of some artifacts and see if anything happens down here. So far it's quiet.
So to explain where you are underneath the casemate, effectively in a basement of the casemates. Could you use the bright lights to have a look around the room? Can you sort of give us, so we can get an indicator of the size of the space?
I don't know if you really want to be fair, because it's halfway through being cleared out at the moment. So I'll show you this space here. So if you pan that way, Jake. We've got the last few bits and pieces that need to be moved down here. And there's another set of shelves behind that. And then the uniform store over there is completely empty. So as you can see, it's nearly cleared, ready for works to begin.
And so in reference to the typewriter, it's sort of above you.
Signal's gone.
That's weird.
I think we may have just lost your signal.
We may have just come back online.
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Hey, can you see us?
Yes. I was just saying, relative to where you are, whereabouts is the typewriter? It's above you, isn't it?
It's right above us, yeah.
Okay, so what I might do, I might put the two screens next to each other, and then if you do some calling out, see if you can actually get anything to happen to the typewriter.
Yep, so just to point out on this K2, the second, there you go, that green light keeps flashing here. It's not doing it now, but if you watch that green light, it does keep flickering. Okay. So if there's a spirit down here in the archive with us, can you come over and touch this hat for us? This creamy coloured hat. Can you come and touch it and change the lights for us, please? You You've just done it. Try and do it again. I know it takes a lot of energy. Or if you're up above us, can you touch the keys on the typewriter? You've done it before because I've seen it before. This is going to be one of your last chances to communicate with us before this room is completely cleared. Was this your hat? If it was your hat, can you come and touch the K2, please? Can you walk towards the typewriter upstairs and press one of the keys for us, please? Just to prove that you're here.
Can you press the keys on the typewriter for us, please? I'm still not sure if you're here. Can you show us you're here in any way? I'm hearing a very strange sort of breathing noise, which is a bit strange.
I'm going to go upstairs with the typewriter. You guys stay down here because it has happened when I've walked in the room before.
Very strange breathing noise. I'm not sure what it is. Lindsay's just gone up. Lindsay's just gone upstairs. The lights flickered a little bit there. Are you in the room with us? Can you show us you're here? Are you the same person as before? Yes. Did you follow us down here?
We're getting a lot of activity on K2s.
K2s are flickering a lot at the moment.
Same one.
Both K2s flickered.
Okay.
Did you follow us down from the other room? No? Yes?
Is there a spirit at the fort who likes to hide down in the tunnels? Literally, as I said, is there a spirit at the fort? This bit just flickered. Is there a spirit here that likes to hide?
I'd
Okay.
like to turn the lights off.
Lights have all just gone off down in the archive. Thank you for that.
So there is a spirit here. Can you affect the lights? Can you go closer to the K2s?
So we're in the dark now. Obviously, the two lights you can see are the two K2s.
So if the spirit is with us that likes to sit in the Eastern Mag and try to burn people, can you affect the lights in front of us, please? You like to make people think they're getting a bit of a burning sensation on their skin, don't you?
You only playing with us?
That's the second light that's gone out tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Come join us down here. Walk down the steps so we can hear your footsteps.
Are you still with us in the room?
Like someone's touching the back of my neck.
Can you make another noise if you can't change the lights, if that's too difficult? Can you make a bang, a knock? Can you do the typewriter? That's a challenge.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to Frankie because he's moving around in the tunnel and it looks very impressive. I don't think we spotted anything happening on the typewriter, and it is quite creepy that your lights have gone out. We've just got two ominous eyes looking at us now, eyes in the dark. Francine has repeatedly asked, and she'll kill me if I don't ask this question, can you ask if there are any children there?
Okay. Are there any children here with us this evening? If there are, can you come and touch these two lights in front of us, please? If there are any children here, come and touch the lights in front of us. I think we just have one man with us this evening who seems to quite like Jason.
I think he followed us down.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Is that a yes? Is it just one man here with us? Do you like Jason? There we go. We've got a fan. If you like Jason a lot, can you run upstairs and touch one of the keys on the typewriter, please?
Yeah.
It's like a breathing sound.
We're hearing like a sort of slight breathing sound.
It's like a...
Oh, it just... It's like almost a...
So other people at home are hearing that sound as well. Now, currently, I keep taking myself off, so it's not any noise coming from me, and it's not coming from the activity centre. The only two mics that are on are in the office and below the office. So can you hear it in the basement then, that strange breathing?
Did you just see the light go again?
A lot of activity down here.
There's a lot of... The lights keep flickering. I don't know if people at home can see that happening.
There you go, on cue.
On the K2s.
It's literally like a rasp, like someone's kind of like going...
Like a heavy smoker breathing, possibly. Did you used to smoke cigarettes?
And it's definitely none of you making that noise, because we can certainly hear it over the microphones.
No, and when Jason just asked if it's someone who smokes cigarettes, the light lit up again.
Are you holding your breath now?
It's literally stopped.
Oh.
There you go. No, I meant the noise.
Oh.
The noise stopped then, and I said, "Are you holding your breath?" And the lights flickered again,
It started
and it
again.
started again.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was our clothes or something, but it's definitely not. I'm standing totally still. It's very close to us. Bearing in mind we're in a sort of dark cellar at the moment. It's a bit spooky, actually.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh.
Did you just touch my face? If you did, light up the green light. That was Jay turning his light on. That wasn't the ghost. There you go.
Stop, there's that breathing again.
I felt somebody touch my face. Blind me. Can you touch Jason's face? Stroke his cheek.
No.
Do you smoke a lot?
Oh, do you whistle? Do you like to whistle? I think I've heard you whistling before. Are you the whistling man? Or is that someone else? Are you the whistling man?
Oh, someone's touching my face again.
Are you the smoking man? I think you are.
Are you touching Lindsay's face with a cigarette?
Again.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop over to the activity centre, or the rear access tunnel, and see what we're getting in terms of their space. So, Frankie and Heather, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes. What's been happening? I've seen a lot of light moving around. Have you moved the camera further up the tunnel?
Yeah, we walked up the tunnel for a bit just to see how far the Wi-Fi would go, and the answer was surprisingly far up there. It's a little bit quiet, if I'm honest. We keep on hearing that noise that we can't pin anywhere. And the further up the tunnel you go, as you get towards what is Kate's 40 and 50, it feels horrible, in my opinion. It just does not feel right.
Ren has asked to ask about the drummer boy.
Drummer boy. It's a new one to me. Is there a drummer boy with us today? There is. Could you make a really loud noise for us so we can hear you? I didn't hear anything. If there is anyone with us, could you make a really loud noise for us, please? Water, really. Should we have another walk up with the camera, just in case? See how far the signal goes. That's the signal, still intact. 11. Case number 12. That's the workshop, or the old workshop.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We just place it down here.
So I think what we'd like to do now is perhaps round everyone up in the office, and we'll do one last vigil and see if we can get any results. Because it just seemed to be in that office area, the old office I should call it, and that typewriter seems to be one of the highlights of activity. It's a shame we can't get the signal right down the end of the Caponiers, but it's a tricky thing to do. So I will show you the quick video of going down into the tunnels while we get everyone set up in the old office. So let's see how it is going in the old office. I know that Lindsay and the others are in there. So one last vigil in the office space. Let's see what happens.
So the guys are just coming to the room now.
I think they're on their way down.
They're on their way down. Just showing another angle of the typewriter. And obviously we're right above the archive where we were, where we've got a lot of activity. So just to recap, we've had 2 lights turn off on tonight.
Hello. Having fun?
Yeah.
How's your night been?
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot going on.
Yeah, you're on.
There's a
Yeah.
lot
So
going
let's.
on.
A little bit quiet in the tunnels. There was a noise we couldn't quite pinpoint almost all night. This metallic tapping noise. And feedback from somewhere. I feel like that when I was there. What about yourself?
Yeah, we were getting K2s. And the emergency light we've got here went off.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to do one last vigil. And we're all going to hold hands in here and call out and see what happens. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, put the K2s in the middle. Yeah. You get the K2s, Jay, yeah?
Yeah, I'll get the K2s.
So, this is your last chance to speak to us tonight. The contractors are coming in tomorrow. So if you've got one last thing you want to come and say to us, come and do it now. Show us you're here. Light up the lights. Make a sound. Whatever you feel you can do.
This is your last chance to show us you're here. Can you change the lights at all? Anything? Or even the typewriter if you want to. You followed us down. Are you looking forward to the contractors coming tomorrow?
Touching the back of my neck. Feel it. It's horrible. I had it downstairs as well. Thank you.
You like to play games with us in the office when we're here. Like to make us jump. That's what I would do. I would go make everyone jump. Did you used to live here?
Did you die here?
I was just thinking, please make our evening. Please don't disappoint me. Let me know something.
Show Heather how you touched the lights earlier and made the lights go to yellow.
Maybe it's scared by how many people are.
Do you feel like you've got to go maybe restrained?
I think it's us two. So I think it's a man's man. So if we stand over here, okay, you two now ask questions because it's been asked with Jason. So let's see. Right, Jason.
So you are smoking man still? Because we thought we could hear you breathing downstairs. You're very close to us. Is it still you?
Well, this room used to be the sergeant's mess for a time, so maybe it's a sergeant, you know, a little bit stern, a little bit proper, ex-army, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to ask it some army questions.
Can you think of any army questions?
Did you serve in the Royal Artillery up here at Newhaven Fort? Light up any of the lights if you did.
Were you in the 1800s at the fort?
Go on. Go on, Jason.
Do you want us to go back downstairs? Or me to go back downstairs?
Let's take them down for one last go.
Just send Jason down.
Just Jason.
Solo.
Just me.
Go on, Jason. Take one for the team.
Well done, mate.
Turn the lights on while you go down there. Put them maybe back where they were on those
On the headgear.
when you're safe and you want me to turn the light off.
So we're just heading back down into the archive. Jason's going to stand there with both K2s. Just for the record, we're going to turn the lights off.
Right. Are you down here with us? Did you follow me down? Did Did you just make the light flicker? Did I blink? Are you down here with us? I could hear you breathing before. I think you were close to us then. Are you here now? Can you make the lights change slightly? Can you use the typewriter for us? Are you down here? Oh, I think you've gone. Ah,
Haven't gone.
you haven't gone.
If you're standing with Jason, make the lights flicker.
Ah, you're next to me. I can feel you next to me. Oh, you're still here. I think tomorrow's going to be a good day for you. I think it'll be a good change for you. I think you'll be happy with the change. You agree, don't you?
Was it you that changed the lights in the Sussex Sea and Air? It was. See. And was it you that changed the lights down here in the archive? Make the light flicker if you did.
Well, thank you for being with us tonight. You sure you don't want to do the typewriter for us? It's your last chance. Okay, thank you. We're going to go now.
Do you want to say one last goodbye? Make the lights flicker if you want to. How are you feeling, Joe?
I feel like it's totally changed.
As in,
I don't think it's here now.
nothing is here.
No. No.
Gone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're going to
Okay.
walk
We're going to go back upstairs
back
now.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Got a bit more activity
It's
as well.
muted.
Yeah.
They've just shouted that I've been muted all the time. So I was basically saying, thank you, Newhaven Fort. And Lindsay and the team, who are probably just behind me, there you go, coming out of the office. Thank you for allowing us to come and do a little mini ghost hunt in this remarkable property. It is huge, and it's a shame that we couldn't have the opportunity to basically go in a little bit deeper in some of the dark and creepy areas. But you can see the Romney hut behind me that we were talking to. In fact, then the Anderson shelter behind my car. There. It's reversed, it's very good to go. So, for those who have ever been, it's definitely worth coming and seeing the redevelopment that occurs in a year's time. So, February 2025, or probably March 2025, we will be back and doing more investigations here with the team at Newhaven. I don't know if you're going to get this, but there is this roaring sound from inside this tunnel. Is producing a lot of noise, but that tunnel from there going in this way is that easy access tunnel, which you've definitely got to come up with. And those who came on a ghost hunt recently, there's the water room just here, and access to, let's see if I can stretch my internet this far. Down here, let's pitch back, that's it. Is the entrance to Eastern, and this side is then the World War I room. So, thank you everyone for joining us. We're hoping to do a few more of these. We won't be doing live big lockdowns like we used to do, but there has been a couple of things happening at some of the locations we go to on a regular basis. I've proved a little bit curious, so I think I'm going to have to set some cameras overnight and probably send in some of the team and see what happens to them. So I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm going to find out and get approval I'm allowed to do it first before I go, yeah, we're going to do that. But I think resurrection this technology I hadn't really used since lockdown. I think this is good fun. I'll do some more of these. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for joining Dark Encounters. We've got ghost hunts every weekend. Do come and join us. Thank you, Lindsay. She says thank you. Thanks, guys. Everyone take care, and we'll see you again on another Dark Encounter in the future. Thanks very much, and good night.